Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is Sio's Lifestyle. For those who are new to the channel, today we are doing get to know me video. I did ask if you guys could ask me anything, any questions, or if there's anything you want to know about me, so that I can do a sit down video. And I did get some responses that was on my previous vlogs. People did drop down some questions of whatever they wanted to know about me, or whatever they wanted to ask. So they dropped down some questions for me in the comment section. So I'm gonna take some time now to respond to all those questions that were dropped in the comment section on my previous vlog. And I just want to say thank you so much to everyone who took their time and actually typed out some questions for me, because this has then encouraged me to actually sit down and respond to all those questions, and maybe just do like a get to know me video, so that I can like introduce myself. Who am I? Where am I from? Where am I based? Just give you guys a bit of a background. Guys, my name is Sionela Yolanda Magula. So I have a second name, Yolanda, but my first name is Sionela. So Sionela, my should I say the shorter version of that is Sio. So that's why I always say in my vlog, you guys are more than welcome to call me Sio, because that is just the shorter version of Sionela, which is my full name. And I do prefer it to be called by my first name, Sionela or Sio, right? Yeah, but obviously my second name is Yolanda. So I am a YouTuber based in South Africa, and at the moment I'm based in Cape Town. I am here in Cape Town. I came here because of work in 2022, towards the end of May 2022. So it's almost about 3 years I've been here in Cape Town. I came here because of a work opportunity that led me to relocate the side of Cape Town. However, I was born in Tata, which is in the Eastern Cape. Both mom and dad are Xhosa, but I was mainly raised by my mother. Yeah, so I was born in Mthatha, and then in the early, should I say in the early grades, when I was going to start my grade 3, or they call it 3rd grade or standard 1, I then relocated to KZN in Pietermaritzburg, and that is where I grew up. So I finished up my primary school in KZN, as well as my I went into high school while I was there in KZN in Pietermaritzburg. I did at some point relocate to Pretoria, which is in Gauteng. That was from grade 8 to 12, no, grade 8 to 10. So I stayed in Pretoria or in Gauteng for about 3 years, and then I went back to KZN in Pietermaritzburg. I stayed there went back to complete my high school, which I went back for my grade 11, and then I finished my grade 11, 12 that side, and then I proceeded to study. Yeah, so I proceeded to study, but I must say my first year was in, I went to Rhodes University, which was in the Eastern Cape, and then second year of varsity, I relocated back to KZN. Yeah, KZN in Pietermaritzburg. So that's where I finished all my studies in terms of my undergrad, in terms of yeah, my undergrad degree, my honors. Yeah, and then I started working there until I got this opportunity here in Cape Town that has led me to now find myself here in Cape Town, which is where I'm currently based. Yeah, so you can obviously see that I spent most of my life in KZN, in Pietermaritzburg. That's where I grew up. That's where my home is, because obviously my mom is there and my family is there. But in the Eastern Cape, there's still my grandmother and just the rest of the family, right? So yeah, that's just a bit of background. So in terms of languages, I speak English. I'm fluent in that. isiXhosa is my home language, and then Zulu, I'm also very fluent in that because I grew up in KZN. Hence, I speak Zulu. I know a bit of, I can understand a bit of, is it Pedi or Sotho? I can understand those because I've also stayed in Gauteng for about 3 years. 3 years of my high school, grade 8 to 10, as previously mentioned. So that's just a bit of background, who I am, where I was born, where I grew up. So yeah, I thought that was very important to cover, even though that was not asked, but I thought it would be a good idea. So now I'm going to get to all your questions. So guys, I'm going to be using this phone. This is my man's phone, so I'm gonna use the phone because I took a screenshot of all the questions. Yeah, so the first question was, okay, I'm not gonna say who asked the question, I'm just gonna read the question. So the first question was, have you ever repeated a grade at high school or at tertiary? So that was the first question. So I've never repeated any grade in terms of in high school or primary school. So I never failed or repeated in high school or primary school. But when I got to tertiary, I did, I think I also did mention that briefly in one of my previous videos. I did fail. It was accounting 200. Remember, accounting is my major. So in my second year of varsity, I remember the pass mark was like 55 in KZN, in UKZN, sorry, UKZN, which is the University of KwaZulu-Natal, where I did my undergrad. Yeah, because I did mention that I went to Rhodes for 1 year and then I came back. I think I may have mentioned that in my pregnancy video, because I came back from Rhodes. Rhodes was in the Eastern Cape for my first year, and then I relocated to UKZN to complete my undergrad. So from second year onwards, then I was at UKZN. So when I was at UKZN, my second year, I did fail accounting 200. Pass mark was 55, I got 52. So I failed, which means I needed to repeat my whole second year again, because remember, accounting is my major. So that was my first time failing. Yeah, that took me by surprise, because remember, it was my first time, and you know, even how I passed in high school, I used to do so well. In my first year, I had like distinctions, so it was really a shocker for me. I think also it could have been that I was adjusting, but I don't think that's the main reason. I don't want to say I was adjusting to having a baby, because in my second year, mid-second year, that's when I had my daughter. So I don't know, maybe it could have been that. I probably had a lot. I was juggling being a first-time mom, and then obviously now finding myself being in a new institution. It could have been that, because also it was a different learning style. So I'm not sure what it was, but it was my first time failing, which means my degree took me 4 years instead of the 3 years. And then when I did honors, I proceeded to do my honors in UNISA. It was a 2-year program. First year of honors, I passed. The second year, I failed again. I failed auditing because I had 2 subs, so management, accounting, and auditing. So I failed because of auditing. That was my second time failing, so which means I had to repeat my second year of honors because of auditing, because I'm supposed to pass all modules in 1 year. I was supposed to do that in order to be able to qualify, right, as a CA. So, and then I wrote again. So I did my honors second year again, yeah, and then I passed. So I got my honors. So instead of the 2-year program at UNISA, it took me 3 years to do my honors. But obviously, I've mentioned it before that the second time the second time when I did my honors, I've mentioned it that I was working when I was repeating my honors the second time, because I'd been studying for so many years. So I decided to start work while I was repeating, and then I passed. And then my board exam, the first one I passed, the second board exam, I failed the first attempt. I repeated again, and then I passed my second attempt in my second board exam, and then I qualified. So I've had a couple of failures along the way, but the second time I always managed to just get it right. So that answers the first question. The second question is, are you willing to stay in Cape Town forever? And the answer is, it depends. If Cape Town is, if it still serves its purpose, or it's still, I don't know how to answer this. Basically, I came here, like I said, for work opportunities, right? So which means if I'm still happy here in terms of work opportunities, or in terms of whatever I'm doing, I don't know, to make money, because that's why I'm here, for work opportunities. So I'm gonna stay in Cape Town if it's still serving me in that way. But if an opportunity comes in China, if an opportunity comes in Dubai, or in any of the other provinces in South Africa or other African countries, anywhere in the world, if a better opportunity comes, then I will definitely take that better opportunity. So I'm willing to go anywhere in the world, anywhere where it's serving my career or it's serving whatever I do. And the amazing thing is that the people in my life, my daughter, as well as my man, he's willing to go anywhere with me. Is how many siblings do you have? It's me and my brother. So I only have one sibling from my mom. But I know from my dad, I believe he has other children. I don't know how many children he has. I thought I was the firstborn for like some time until I found out that there is one older than me, a guy who's older than me. So I have an older brother. I don't know how many other children he has. I don't know because I don't have any communication with him. Like I said, my mom raised me, so I don't know much about. I just know of the firstborn because I knew about him when I was a little bit smaller, and I've met him before from my dad's side, but I don't know how many other kids he has other than the firstborn that I know. So I know that my dad, from his side, there is a lot more children. It's not just me and my brother or even the firstborn that he has, but from my mom's side, it's me and my brother. That is the sibling I grew up with in the same household. So my mom only has 2 children and we both share the same father, but my father has more children, which, like I said, I don't have a relationship with my father. I don't have a relationship with him, so I don't know how many other children he has, and I don't have a relationship with these other children because I don't have a relationship with him. Someone asked me, how has motherhood been for me? So motherhood, guys, I just do what I can. Like I had my daughter in, should I say, the early years of my varsity where I was not working, but my mom was very supportive. So because my mom was very supportive, all I had to do is just look after my baby and then focus on my schooling. And I did that as best as I could. Obviously it's not easy. Sometimes you want to do more or whatever the case may be. So I guess, I just want to say, I've done my best when I was not working. Even now, relocating, coming to a different province, I told myself that I could have left SC. I know at some point my mom was hoping that I would leave her behind at home in KZN, so she looks after her and then she continues schooling there. But I just chose that I wanted to be a hands-on mom for my child. I wanted my child to grow up with me, to just be a part of like every step of her life. So far I do the best I can. Obviously there's been some challenges relocating in a different city. You don't know anyone and you're coming with your child. There has been some challenges, but obviously, God's ways are higher than our ways, because in the process of all these challenges, then I met David, who then became so supportive to me, and we just, obviously now we're all staying together as like a family. So that has sort of like helped in so many ways, in terms of support. So far it's been good. It's never easy. There's always challenges, but I think I'm doing the best I can. I'd like to believe that. So yeah. Would you like to have more children in the future? That was another question. God willing, yes, I would love to have more children if God blesses me with more children in the future. I'm hoping, or I would love to have 2 more children in the future. 2 more children. So which means I would like to have a boy and a girl. What's your dream car? So before, at some point, I used to like the Ford EcoSport, the one that has a wheel at the back. I used to like that car. I don't know what it was. I think at that time I was in varsity. I used to be like this sort of like SUV kind of cars. I used to like those kind of cars. But when you grow up and you start paying bills and then, your eyes open and then you realize, these big cars are so expensive. So with me, now that I'm grown, at this point right now, I don't have a dream car. But back then I used to like the SUVs, and at that time I know I liked the EcoSport. I think for me at this point, the only thing I care about is moving from point A to B safely and comfortably, because I just like to be practical, you know. I don't want to commit to something that's going to financially overwhelm me. Yes, I mean, obviously, I feel like when maybe at some point I'll be able to like get like a big SUV and I can afford it maybe one day. But at this point, I don't have one in mind that I say, oh, I would definitely like to get that. So at this point, I don't have one, but back then it was the Ford EcoSport. If I can't afford it, or if I feel like this is going to be too much financially for me, it doesn't make sense, then I'm not even thinking about it. I'm not even dreaming about it. So yeah, I hope that makes sense. Do you have bad habits? If yes, which one would you like to change? Bad habits, sugar. Like I have a sweet tooth. I wish I did not have a sweet tooth because, you know, guys, sugar can be so deadly. So I wish I did not have a sweet tooth. I wish I could change that about myself. What is your most memorable childhood memory? One of the things I think about, every Friday we used to clean when we came back from school. My brother and I, we used to clean. So we cleaned the house. We used to clean the house, and then my mom would come back from work and check the house. If she checks the house and she's happy with how we cleaned, we used to score ourselves takeaways. So maybe I could say that one. I think that was one of my childhood memories, or something I can like remember that was kind of nice that we did. So every Friday afternoon, if we have cleaned the house to my mom's expectation, she comes home from work and she checks, we should score ourselves a takeaway. Should make us choose whatever we wanted. We used to have McDonald's, KFC, or whatever. So I think that was a nice one. Doing the house chores together, and the goal was that we're going to get a takeaway. Yeah, that was a nice one. What was your first job? So my first job, I was an auditor. Yeah, that was my first job. I was an auditor. Yeah, I think I have shared this before. So that was my first job. It was articles, or should I say trainee accountant. Some people call that had to be my first job, because I needed to have completed articles or do the 3-year training contract to complete that in order for me to qualify as a CA. So that was my first job. I was an auditor. What are your life goals? My life goals is to I just want to be happy. I just want to be happy. I want to just live with my kids, you know, raise my kids. I want to, you know, just live in my own house, peaceful, you know, no stress. If I want to go on holiday, I must be able to just go on holiday, just live my best life, just be happy, you know, make money, just afford your life, you know what I mean? If you want something, be able to get it. Yeah. That is, just be happy, be peaceful, be healthy, enjoy life, travel, you know, and that's it. That's it for me. So I've already answered this one about siblings, and I did mention how many I have. Let's see. Okay. Do you wish to have another child? If yes, a boy or a girl? I think I've already answered that one. So I said yes, if God willing, yes. And I would like both a boy and a girl. Would you like to relocate to another country in the future? It depends, you know. If an opportunity presents itself, I would definitely relocate. I know in the past I've had opportunities to go to, I did mention in one of the videos, I had an opportunity to go abroad. I can't remember whether it was in the UK or something, but it had to do with audit. As soon as I qualified, so many opportunities presented themselves. So I just decided not to. And main reason was that for me, I want to raise my child myself. So at that time, for me, I didn't think it would be the best one, because I didn't want to leave my daughter behind, you know what I mean? But at least coming to Cape Town is still in South Africa. Coming to Cape Town with her this side, I knew that it would be easy, like to go back home or to, you know, just make, you know, other plans if things did not work out this side. But thank God things did work out. So So at that moment, that's why I decided not to relocate. And also there were other things. Others were relocating, you know, they were coming back, like they were not happy. There was just a lot going on. So I didn't want to go with my child alone in a foreign country. And given the nature of my work, it's so demanding. So, and also I didn't want to leave my child like back home, you know what I mean? I didn't want to leave my child. But in the future, if an opportunity presents itself, hopefully, you know, things are a little bit more stable for me. So definitely I would be willing to go anywhere in the world as long as I get to go with my family and settle down. So yeah, I would. You do 50-50 with your hubby. So I'm just laughing. I love it when people call David my hubby. I love it so much. So with David and I, okay, let me just say that, guys, there is no such thing as 50-50, at least in my own opinion, in my own personal opinion, there is no such thing as 50-50. We both contribute like fully in any way that we can. For me, like we just give our all, you know what I mean? If there's groceries to be bought, if I've got the money to buy the groceries, I'm going to buy the groceries. If there's electricity that's finished, or if there's no petrol in the car, whether it's me or whether it's David, we just do things. Whoever has the capacity to do something, they will do something. It's the same as when we come back from work with cooking. Sometimes I get home first, I can cook. Sometimes I'm home first, I don't cook, I'm busy. You know, like we make a plan, you know, if I didn't cook, David will come home, he'll start the cooking, or maybe, you know, he'll buy a takeaway or buy a takeaway. There is no 50-50. We do our best, give 100% in everything, us together. And you know what, wherever, like if one person 1 week gives 100% and the other one only has 0, then it's fine, you know. If 1 week the other one gives 8 and the other one gives 20, it's also fine. If, you know, but there's never a time where it's like, groceries this month are 5,000, put 2,500 here, I'm going to put 2,500. For us, that's not how it works, you know. Whoever has a financial ability to take care of the bills at that time, they will take care of the bills for us. And yeah, so there is no such thing as 50-50. We contribute whatever we can, whenever we can. I don't even think that concept is even realistic, because if you think about it, let's say even if it's you, like both husband and wife are working, you know, both of you all are working. With that being said, chances are you're not going to earn the same salary, right? Or let's say even if you are earning the same salaries, sometimes the responsibilities are different. Maybe the other one is driving a car, the other one is not driving. The amount of things will never be exactly the same. So I don't think it's possible to say you're gonna contribute 50% towards everything. It's not possible. You know, it really is not possible, because that means that when you're cleaning, then, you know, you're gonna clean 50-50. You know, the equation never really balances in that manner. Or if you're cooking, or if I cook today and then that means the other person must cook tomorrow, you know, to get the 50-50. But then what if maybe they're not available the next day? It's not possible. You just need to do what works for you and just navigate. For us, we just help each other the best way we know how. You know, even with the home chores, we do everything together. With errands, we do everything together. If one is not available, the other one will handle it. With bills, if something is finished, if something needs to be bought, whoever is gone out, they will bring whatever that needs to be brought. You know, at month end we do groceries together. There is no such thing. Whoever has the money or whoever has the ability will just do whatever that needs to be done. I'm sorry guys, it has just started raining. I don't know if you can still hear me, because I think now I need to scream, but I'm almost done with the video. For us, there is no such thing as 50-50. In fact, I can say it's 100-100. Honestly speaking, it's 100-100, because we both just give ourselves fully, like 100% in. Yeah, and I think that's the best thing about, our relationship. Yeah, just give fully. If he's not well and or he's busy with other things, I'm here at home, I'll do the best I can. It's the same thing with like taking Essie to school. In the morning when I'm going to work, I drop her off. But sometimes I'm home, I'm working from home. Just because I normally drop her off in the mornings, David is not going to say, no, I'm not going to take her because it's your turn. It's your job to drop her off. Me, my job is to fetch her. He doesn't do that. If I'm like, babe, I'm going to sleep an extra 30 minutes, please can you drop it today? He's willing to do it, So we just balance it out, man. But really, 50-50 does not exist. How are you navigating motherhood as a professional person? I think I've sort of touched on this. I just do the best thing I know how. I am like fortunate now in that, I have an amazing partner who helps me. For example, I just mentioned now that I normally do the school drop-offs, but if I can't, David would take Essie to school, and most of the time he picks her up from school and he drops her at work, and then he would continue and go about his day. The good thing is that now Essie is big enough and he's of an age where, like where we stay, it's very safe, it's very secured. So if we drop her at home, if I'm not home and David is not home, we're both busy at work, then she's able to be at home, warm up food for herself as long as there's food, there's Wi-Fi. Then we always just make sure we keep in touch with her as the day progresses. But that's the nice thing now, like she's grown, she knows what to do, she must come back from school, do her homework. Yeah, so I just do the best that I can. Like I said, I'm very lucky now that at least I have a partner who's able to help me with that, and he does that like wholeheartedly. Even with other things, some other things I'm not able to be like physically there or do other things. David always jumps in and steps in and he assists me in any way that he can, so because my career is very demanding. When I was back home, it used to be my mother, it used to be my brother helping me, because even then I used to work in another different city. When I was staying in Pietermaritzburg, I was working in Durban, so I had people help me with my child. People sometimes they used to pick her up and keep her in their house, until someone came back from work, whether my mom and my brother, and they would pick her and then they go home with her, and I would still be working. So it's just having people around who support you. Yeah, so like I said, God's plans are better than our plans. So I just got lucky in that I happened to find someone who's willing to assist me and support me, and he really does an amazing job. He really does an amazing job. If he wasn't around, then I would have been like a single parent, as I was for like a long time before I met David. If you've been on the channel, you know how long David and myself have been together. So you can obviously, because now S is turning 11, so you can see for most of her years I was like a single parent, doing things by myself. But like I said, I had people help me look after her if I'm at work and so on and so forth. So yeah. How do you deal with the changes that comes with having a child? I just do the best that I can. I do the best that I can. Having a child, mentally and emotionally, something needs to switch on. And also I was still like a teenager, because I was 19 when I heard her. So you just have to grow up, life, even your way of thinking changes. Now you're no longer just doing things for the sake of doing them. You're doing them with that now there's this human being, there's this life, there's this person that you have to look after. So I feel like even, how you think changes. You just mature, you just step up to it. So for me, I just do the best that I can. Like I said, my way of thinking now, I no longer think how I used to think before, because most of the time it's always about Esihle. What does she need? Sometimes you even forget to do things for yourself and make sure you do things for your child, right? So you just do the best that you can and just navigate it the best way. Even when you make decision, it's not just about you, but it's about what is good for you, what is good for your child. Yeah, and obviously just having people in your corner support you, whether it's friends, family, your partner, or that is also helpful. I just want to check if I've answered all the questions. So I think that is all the questions that I got. Thank you so much, guys. I hope you have enjoyed this video. Getting to know me a little bit better. I really do appreciate your engagement in my videos. Thank you so much. If you've watched up until this far, I really appreciate your love and support, and goodbye for now. I'm gonna see you on the next video. Bye.